Hello! So we have a little bonus lesson here, and it's writing a hexanum. So in the last example we used %, which is a built-in language function, and if you know how that works, you can just use it. But what is it doing inside was a question that I wanted to answer. And so what I did was I set up some test cases. If I plug in A, it should give me 11. If I plug in B, it should give me 10. If I plug in C, it should give me 12. That's base 16. That's how it works. A is, whoop, A is 10, B is 11. There we go. Oh, look at this. So you can see how I did this, a copy and paste error. So as embarrassed as I am, I'm just going to keep going. There we go. That's right. Now let's go back to the outside and run it. Okay, so I'm going to double check. A is 10, yes. B is 11, yes. C is 12, D is 13, E is 14, F is 15, small f will also be 15, and 0 is 0, 1 is 1, 2 is 2, 3 is 3, 4 is 4, 5 is 5, 6 is 6, 7 is 7, 8 is 8, 9 is 9. Good. So now what we have here is I have a little stub method, and I've already added something called string char code at, and I'm returning a char code, and the test is not passing, it's failing. And that's just simply because char code at gives me a character code representation of a letter. The letter A is 65, the letter F is 70. So I can do something here with an if statement. I can say if the char code is greater than or equal to 65, and then the char code is less than or equal to 70, then what do we have? Well, we're going to have a digit. So let's say var digit. Let's call this number. And let's give it a default value of -1 or 0. Number is equal to, if it's 65, it's A. If it's 70, it's F. So the other thing that I want is I want it to be a number value. So A is going to have to be 10. 70 is going to have to be 15. So the difference between 70 and 15 is 55. So I'm going to take that and have char code minus 55, and I'm going to get 15 if it's F. 70 minus 55 is 15. 15 is the value of F, and that's the number. And it's also going to work for A. 65 minus 55 is 10. That means it's also going to work for all the numbers in between. Easy. Fancy that. So here we go. Let's run it. A expected 65 to equal 10. Oh, look at that. My code is wrong. I need to return the new number. So there we go. Now we have, I've passed those tests. I'll show you that. A, that works, that all works. So those ones worked. What doesn't work is small f. So if we go dot to uppercase, run that, show the pass test, small f works. 0 is also working already, just because of that. So then let's say, okay, if the char code is greater than or equal to 1, which is 49, and 57. So greater than or equal to 49, and char code is less than or equal to, I forgot already, 57. 57. Well, how do I get 9 from 57? If I take a number, if I take my number and I have my char code, and my char code is 49 and I want to get 1, then I'll just minus 48. Which, interestingly enough, is the value for 0. So I'm just going to say 49 minus 48 is 1. That's 1. 49 is a character code 1, and 57 is character code 9. 57 minus 48, well, I'm thinking it's going to be 9. Let's look. We can use a calculator, or we can use a test to calculate it. Let's show the passes here. There we go. So my hex code thing is working just fine. Converts 9 to 9. So I have this little function. Now the next part is to convert a hexadecimal character code in the form into a number trio. One, two, three. Number trio, red, green, blue. So I have this little function, I can call it, and I'll just, what do I want to call it on? Well, I want to call it on a slice of this thing. First, I'm going to say my hex code is color code substring, starting at 1, and then going for 6 of those characters. So that should be my substring. If I start at 1 and I get 6, then that'll be 1 to 7. So that's just the parts that I'm interested in. And then I want to break it into 2s. So I'm going to go for int var I equals 0. I length. Well, how many times do I want to do this? I want to do it for the length of hex code.length. And then I want to say, as long as I is less than length, I want to go up by 2. Plus equals 2. And so if I'm going up by 2, then I'm going to get 2 little bit. My I is going to access me at 2 different spots. So I'll be able to go hex code at I, and then I'll be able to go hex code at I plus 1. So I'll be working with them in pairs. So I'll be like the first value is, and I need to put a var in front of that. And so the first value is going to be times 16, whatever it is, whatever its number is, because it's kind of like the tens place. If you have like decimal, you have tens, 100, 1000s. So the first position, first leftmost position is 16 to the position. So it's the first position, so 16 to the 1, which is 16. And so hex to num, hex code, and then this one is just going to be 16 to the 0, which is 1, so times 1. So hex to num of that, and then we're going to say, let's just make it easy, position equals 0, and pause plus. So each time we're going to go up by 1, and then we'll call our GB array at pause is equal to the first value plus the second value. And we know that it's going to be 16 times the hex code, the first hex code, and plus the second hex code. So that's going to be ff times 16 plus f times 16 to 0. That's basically it. And our hex to num is converting f into a decimal notation, and then that's why we're using 16, which is decimal, times 16, which is base 10. That's decimal. So decimal is base 10. Position RGB array. Let's try it out. Blah explodes. Hex to num is undefined. So what? Oh, missing semicolon after. Oh, I forgot a comma. There we go. Syntax error. There we go. It passed. So I've written my little homebrew hex converter, which I don't recommend because the one that's built in JavaScript works just fine, and it's quite a bit more powerful. It takes any radix, and it's probably written in C code, so I would use that one for sure. But as an exercise in understanding, you have this before you, and I recommend looking into base number systems if you are a new to programming JavaScript programmer. That's all, and enjoy your hacking. Goodbye.